All right. Woo! We got to the finale. I'm Joe.
I'm DJ.
And that's right. We're going to be talking about Power Rangers Dino Supercharged. This is the Ranger wrap-up. We're going to be talking about the episode.
The End of Extinction.
Not to be confused with...
The Edge of Extinction.
Which was last week's episode.
Yes, sir.
This week, we crossed that finish line.
Oh, we made it.
And...
2 years.
2 years. 2 years with this cast. It's like family now.
Man, I'm not sure if I'm ready to see them go, but we will get into it.
Yes, and later on, we're going to have a special guest, reading your questions and comments. But before we get into that, let's talk about some Power Rangers news.
Yes, coming up first, let's talk about the Lionsgate reveal of the Zords in toy form. So they are the Dinozords, like we got the sneak peek off the posters, but they're definitely a departure from the Zords we know. Mm-hmm. Mastodon, Pterodactyl, Triceratops, Saber-toothed Tiger, Tyrannosaurus. I probably said something twice, whatever. The T-Rex looks like a T-Rex. The Triceratops has 6 legs.
It's a lot of legs.
The Mastodon has 8 legs.
It's even more legs.
So if their goal was to depart from the original 93 Zords, they definitely did it. So what are your thoughts, man?
I'm not a Zord guy. Everybody knows that.
But it's the Dino Megazord, man.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Sure is. It is the Dino Megazord. I could care less about the Zord. I think if anything was going to surprise me on this, it was going to be the suits.
Sure.
And the suits sold me, especially when I saw them in action.
Oh, right. We saw them.
We saw them in action. They flow really. They look really good.
And it's a lot more practical than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be.
This chick needs to stop texting me. Is what needs to go on right now.
Hey, be a professional, sir. Put that away. Anyways. I thought there was going to be a lot more CGI to the suits. And of course, it's going to still be CGI, but they were practical. They were actual physical suits on the set. Now, back to the Zords themselves. I mean, they definitely are distinguishable.
Those were also practical on the set. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, yeah, they got the angles and everything. So it's different. We did get images of the full combined Megazord, which is completely different from
I do like that, though.
You do like that.
The combined Megazord looks pretty cool.
Sure.
In a weird way, though, I almost wished, and because it doesn't look like it, but I almost wish it looked like the Pacific Rim Jaegers.
Is it because you want it to be more mechy?
Yeah, I did.
Sure.
I did.
You know what? I love the waist up. I'm not sure if the legs do it for me yet because it is really humanoid, very mesh, and then alien feet. I mean, it
looks like the Destroyer from Thor. But anyways, sorry to cut you off.
Not at all.
People are going to be wondering why we have these here. These are the Rangers that we best feel represent us.
Well, not to mention Joe is actually the Phantom Ranger.
I am the Phantom Ranger. That's going to be revealed in Ninja Steel. Oh, that's spoiler alert. Just kidding.
Well,
no, this was a gift.
Blow it.
A gift. This is something I actually paid for. From Anakin.
A gift to himself.
A gift to myself. I got the whole suit. It's all done. But it looks really nice. It's really cool.
This is the first time I've seen it, and it's great quality work. It's from Aniki. Time aside, once you actually get your stuff from Aniki, it is actually top-notch quality. The details, the panel lining, the gloss, it's really well done.
We'll do an unboxing.
Sure.
For a Ranger thing.
So anyway, so that's the Lionsgate Zords. You either love them, hate them, or give them a chance. Me personally, I'm going to give them a chance.
I'm going to give them a chance.
And I'm a fan of everything that's Power Rangers, so of course. Anyways, moving on. More merchandise news. Ninja Steel merchandise has been started to be spotted in the wild, which is kind of cool. Definitely earlier than we expected. So that's out there. Also on the same note, the Lionsgate movie merchandise is also spotted out in the wild, but
accidentally.
That was not on purpose. That someone and some people have been jumping the gun and have been pushing them out, so they've been overriding the system. So they're there, but they're not official.
Now, would you be able to find these on eBay?
I'm sure someone's going to put them on eBay.
So this is the market right now. If you're an eBay seller and you can find these, you can make some coin.
First of all, collectors are very impatient. They got to have it. You know what I mean?
Wait, we talked about this the other night actually on the phone. What kind of collector are you? Are you a guy that's just going to buy it online, or are you for the chase? Because I'm for the chase. If I'm going to collect something, I want to chase it down.
It depends on what it is. There's no better satisfaction and gratification than being able to pull off its peg and being like, you know what? You're coming with me.
Do you examine it when you're in a store and you're like, oh, this card, the card here is a little bent. It's not
Joe
MOC.
Honestly, who does that? The answer is yes. Anyways, the point is, it depends on what it is. Like, for instance, like Mighty Morphin stuff, like the Legacy line that's coming out. I need one to open.
Oh, really?
I need one to open, but very specific. This isn't with everything. I promise you, it's not with everything. But for instance, like the Legacy figures with like the Mighty Morphin stuff.
Yeah.
I will buy one to be able to handle with one, and I will have one to keep in package.
But what do you do with the one that you like take out?
I display them. I actually do display them. I actually have a shelf. Shout out to our producer, JD. He's seen my collection. Brian McKinney, our other hashtag member, he's seen my collection. It's not as big as you think, but there's certain ones I want. So
The collection or the you mean the line? Like that line specifically?
there's certain things that I go for where I need to have it in box.
Oh,
And
I see
there's-
what you're saying.
And then there's
Okay.
certain ones that I just, I'm fine with just buying it and just, opening it up and be like, oh, this is pretty cool, whatever.
Most stuff that you buy then, is it fair to say you open?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm very specific as far as what I keep in package. The legacy figures, I'll probably keep at least one set in
I don't
package.
keep anything in its package.
Sure. Well, but you're not really.
Now that I really think about it, I really don't. Like even, yeah,
Yeah, that's it.
that's it. Yeah, I just got the Rogue from Marvel because I'm a Marvel Legends collector, and I just got Rogue.
Sure.
I'm gonna take it out of its package. I have a display in my office.
That's awesome.
That's on this big giant diorama, which is actually made for the SH Figure Arts figures.
Oh, dope.
It's like a big 2-story thing.
No, they're really great. They're good for figures. Period.
So
yeah.
I put those on there. But on to sadder news, the passing of Jason David Frank's mother.
Yes.
We are unfortunate to inform you that is a thing that happened.
He was definitely close to his mother. He always regarded her in such high esteem, and she was all about the fans as well. She was very interactive, and our condolences go out to the Frank family. I know she was a very strong woman, so definitely rest in peace to Jason David Frank's mother.
Yeah, and on the plus side of that though, I mean, there's no plus side to somebody passing away, but on the plus side, at least she got to see her son now with the research and everything, and really succeed.
Sure.
And I know he respects her a lot, and I'm sorry for your loss, Mr. Frank.
Absolutely.
But on a lighter note,
Yeah, sure. We can transition to Boom Studios.
Justice League and
Yep.
Power Rangers #2, the synopsis came out, and the cover came out, which is a pretty cool cover.
Yeah.
Front dead center was how do you say that? Front dead in
dead-
center.
front dead
Front
center.
dead in center.
Sure.
Was Superman and the Red Ranger.
Yeah.
Pretty much they're combining forces to see if they can work together to stop a threat bigger than Lord Zed.
Pretty much.
Was pretty much the synopsis that we got.
Pretty much.
I'm excited about this. I'm tonight is my night. I don't have anything going on tonight, so tonight's my night to catch up on my Boom Studio stuff. So I got a couple.
He doesn't like Boom Studios.
I love Boom Studios.
He doesn't like.
I got
that at
3 issues of the main series and 1 issue of Pink to read, and I'm set solid with my reading material.
It's to the point where if I need like a human wiki for Boom Studios Power Rangers, I call him.
Dude, it's so good.
I call him. I legit
So
call him like, hey,
good.
this issue came out. Is it worth it? Like, dude, catch
Well,
it.
here's the great thing about it, because I heard somebody told me like a small spoiler that they're saying that the current issues of Power Rangers right now is it's almost kind of like somebody said it. Kyle Higgins was like, oh, that Pink Ranger series, I see what you're doing there. I'm going to do it better. So this is kind of what's happening right now in the Mighty Morphin storyline.
Interesting.
So I'm really curious to see, and they made it to a point where I like the tension they built up between Jason and Zach against Tommy.
Sure.
I love the tension they're building, and it's really good.
Now the character development and just
So good.
the liberties they've been taking with the characters that we know and love, and still keeping it fresh has been awesome.
Yeah, and I'm really curious to see if they get the because you have to assume that they're going to get the movie rights to the franchise for the comic as well.
Yeah.
Comic movie rights to that franchise.
Make it happen.
And if they're going to have like parallel universes where the 2 teams meet up, because
Sky's the limit. That's the thing. Like, sky is the limit. They're not
It's like a multiverse, a multiverse of Power Rangers we're living in.
Oh God, it's such a good time to be a fan.
It actually is a really good time.
No, seriously, it's super dope, and there's so much content out there now, man.
I love it. But I think that's it for the news, right?
Yeah, that's it. So we're gonna get to the end of Extinction, and here's a clip.
Nope, it's not. These are the Energems. And I'll give you one guess what that is.
It's a bomb! What? No! Fury! At last, my captor has met his end.
Overall thoughts, what'd you think? Be real here.
How real?
Pretty real.
I was disappointed. It was okay. I love this season. I love this cast. I love everything. I like what they did with the content. This finale was so much to take in. We had a Dragon Ball Z moment. We had a Stargate moment. We had a Superman moment. We had basically every finale you could think of in one episode.
It was definitely Chip Lynn's like childhood of being like, this is all the things I love. Let's do it out. But you know what? I'm thinking about it now more and more, and like I don't hate the episode, and there's a few reasons why.
I don't hate it.
I like the fact. I mean, there are certain. Listen, I do have. I am going to take certain liberties with this.
Please. 'Cause-
Our guest is on his way, actually, as we speak right now. Should be here pretty soon.
Okay.
The thing that I don't hate about this is that all of the Rangers were together. And overall, like, I understood the way the story played out. With that being said, I think that one out of two things should have happened. One, either that this season should have addressed all these issues that we're having now a lot earlier that happened in this episode.
Well, what do you mean by that? Give me an example.
For example, we knew that all 10 Rangers were going to be together.
Right.
They've been together for the last 4 episodes, roughly.
Give or take.
3 or 4 episodes.
Sure.
We could have literally done all this stuff then and solved it then. But we needed to draw out a season. Now, I know a lot of people complain, especially Dino Supercharge was filled with had a lot of filler in
It
it.
had a lot of fillers, man.
So my problem with that, though, and this is what I mean by getting to things sooner, is cutting out the filler and let's let this be more of an episodic adventure.
Sure. Let the plot drive it.
Something
as
we
opposed
didn't
to,
get that we both wanted was the Talon Ranger.
Oh, I was about to say, my favorite part of this episode is when the Talon Ranger saved the day. No, he didn't. He wasn't here. He's not in the season.
You can see how it makes sense because Heckle was in the Zord with them.
I'll tell you what, dude. Now that we all seen the episode, even a small little, kind of like the Nova Ranger SPD thing, where like in SPD.
Oh, it's almost like
even if it's like a second. I don't care if he goes into the wormhole and like morphs for like a second. I would have been okay with that. You know how like Nova demorphs real quick? You got to see Sam.
I mean,
and Nova.
well, they're just saving that for the Boom Studios comic book that's based on Heckle when he becomes a keeper.
Okay, I'm usually on your side when it comes to that. No, this time, no. They could have totally made Heckle. Heckle to me had one of the best arcs as a character. One thing that wasn't really clear to me, I was hoping they would explain this. Everything that he did as Heckle possessed and split in half was for the restoration of Sentai 6. They never even alluded to how that was going to happen. Keeper gave him away.
Well, I don't think that necessarily because
But that's what he said.
in the episode though he is very clear that he thinks Sentai 6 is never going to happen and come back.
No, he's very clear about that. We're all doomed, but he says specifically everything I did was for Sentai 6, even after the fact.
Yeah, after the fact, in
Yes.
terms of like being honored for it. But he never thought, I don't think he ever thought Sentai 6 was actually going to come back.
I kind of felt like he was doing it for the restoration, but moving on.
I mean, it could be, completely could be.
Yeah.
But he just seemed like the look on his face was so shocked.
Sure.
When they said, you know what, and now you can go back to Sentai 6 as the keeper of the Dark Energy.
No, that was great.
And he was like, wait, Sentai 6 is still there? Kind of a deal?
He got a fancy new cloak and everything. I was all about it.
He did.
He could have had that new suit called the Talon Ranger suit, but hey, whatever. Anyways,
You know what's funny though? I will
Please,
say,
yes.
there was a funny part. How fast Prince Philip looked like he wanted to leave, and he was like, no, this is done, I'm out. But he just like dipped into that thing.
for the record, that's the thing though. I mean, I didn't feel the finality, dude. I did not. I love this. Okay, first of all, Dino Supercharge, great season.
Well, let's
great
talk about
cast.
the best moment though. What was your best moment?
Please start. What's your best moment?
My best moment, the most emotional moment, is when you know that Ivan and Coda, they see how I did it there? They're a thing now. Ivan and Coda went into the thing together, and you knew that they were both getting placed into their proper timeline.
Yeah, that's the smartest wormhole I've ever seen in my
And
life.
that the Rangers like aren't going to see them again.
That was the smartest wormhole Stargate thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, it just knew where to send both of these out-of-time people. Okay, let me get to, some of the references I talked about. The Dragon Ball Z thing. Chase has a brilliant idea to, address the world, and not even, the whole world, just, New Zealand to Amber Beach. And
We did say the whole world because
Did
he said everybody from New York to New Zealand.
To New Zealand? Is that the whole world?
I mean, from New York to New Zealand, yeah.
Is it?
If he said from everybody from New York to New Zealand, he was talking to the whole world.
Okay, that's totally fine. But anyways, it was like this Goku speech where people, we need your help. Spirit Bomb! And everybody got together, held up mirrors, and then Power Ranger logic, we saved the day, kinda.
But you gotta admit, it was pretty cool seeing some of these past people that were in the episodes of this season,
Yes.
that were in previous episodes back.
Okay, so we saw Shelby's dad, we got
saw-
Shelby's friend, we
saw,
saw Kaylee, which is Chase's girlfriend.
We saw Tabor's brother, or Riley's brother.
Matt.
I wish we would have saw Albert.
Where's Albert at? The original Purple Ranger. Clearly he's worthy. Where were you at, Albert? Come on. Anyway, so we did get some cameos, and that was pretty cool. You know what I did love? The Rangers doomed us all. They legitimately doomed us all. As soon as they destroyed the Dark Energem, that is what screwed us. Just,
Yeah.
As soon as all kidding aside, they had this amazing plan to destroy the Dark Energem with all the powers of the Rangers, and they're kind of like, whoops.
They messed up.
That actually escalated our doom exponentially. Instead of us freezing over, it was like all in one gulp into the wormhole.
But that was actually pretty funny. But also, I
It
think
went
it was.
down like a toilet.
It did go. It did go.
Oh,
down like
there
a
goes
toilet.
us.
But I also like the fact though that was the one time the Earth wasn't saved. Obviously, they had to get it back.
That was the one time where they literally were responsible for us being doomed.
It's not the one time. I feel like that's happened in
Has
previous
it?
episodes.
Not to that scale, a whole Earth being swallowed up by a worm.
But we don't know what happens in the wormhole. We could have been just throwing us off our access. We don't know necessarily.
I
What
was
happens.
dying because as soon as that happened, I just imagined all the Rangers going,
That's pretty much what happened.
oh crap.
And the keeper's like, "Trust me, just throw your energems out and let's create this giant circle."
And then, Keeper turns into the big ghostly in space with the Chaos Emeralds from Sonic the Hedgehog, and it's just like, it's okay. I have this one trick in the legend that I've never mentioned before.
My problem is, why didn't they do that before?
Yeah, you had mentioned that off
Like,
camera, yeah. You had the opportunity to do it before.
Yeah, because they had all the gems together. It's not like
Sure.
they didn't. So why didn't they just do it before?
So let's get into the past real quick. So they actually are able to go to the past and try to rewrite history. So they got an early version of Sledge and his prisoner ship. So they have a whole showdown. And dude, that was interesting to me. So apparently they know what Power Rangers are millions and millions of years ago.
Well, yeah, you'd have to assume so, though.
Really? Millions and millions of years ago? Before civilization? Yeah, I guess so. I mean,
Well, I
Sledge-
mean, look at like some of these monsters
That's
have been
true.
around, and
That's
like
true.
even 10,000 years ago, or however long ago,
Yeah.
Rita fought the Rangers. You have to assume that just in space and stuff, that these Rangers have been known for years and years and years.
Yeah, you're right. You got a good
Millennia.
point. Yeah, so just the beginning of time type of stuff. And not to mention...
Beginning of time on Earth, and Earth is a
Right.
fairly young planet.
I was just
in
about
terms
to
of,
mention
like the
that.
galactic sense.
Sure. I was just about to mention. I mean, Sledge and his henchmen and Keeper, they are advanced. By the time they even hit Earth, we're very primitive still. Sure. So we have some resolution. I do like the fact that Ivan was able to face off against Fury because
That was really cool.
in Kyoryuger, Uchi against the Fury counterpart, it's a driving force because Fury held him captured. You know what I'm saying? Like captive. And
yeah, I remember that.
He held a grudge because of that. I mean, he was unfree because of that. So the whole dynamic between Uchi and the Fury counterpart has always been like the driving force. So I'm glad they were able to kind of include that. Fury suffers a terrible death, by the way. Like he blows up. Like he blew up in this episode.
We still didn't get a Kendall backstory, though.
We didn't get a Kendall backstory. We don't even know how Kendall and Keeper met.
No.
Again, I'm always gonna love Power Rangers. There was so much in this episode. There was just so much in this episode. I mean, when you Superman reverse time and just kind of like, hey, we'll just do it over. That's to me, that's almost always a cop out. I get this. I get the heightened stakes.
Well, you can almost tell with the last maybe 5 episodes of this season that something in their planning changed.
You think so?
Yeah, you could tell something in their planning changed, and they were like, okay, now we have to go in this direction.
Yeah.
And they were like, what are we going to do to recover from that? And that's why I think, especially in the last 3 episodes, you can see it pretty apparent that the first one, or the 2 episodes before this, it was pretty solid. And then you got
Sure.
the last 2 episodes. Now, last week's episode was all kind of setup, even though we do get a lot of Zord fights. But this week's episode was super rushed for finale.
I'll be honest with you, just really quick. I'll be honest with you. The only setup I had from last episode was the fact that Fury was in the base. And I do like the fact that it did start off where it ended, where, kind of Keeper versus
Yeah, I thought I like
Fury.
that too.
So,
One thing I was concerned with this season was just getting let down.
what do you mean concerned with it? Was it because of the expectations or because of where the season took you?
It's because, all right, so let's be fair.
Sure.
Dino Charge I thought it was really good.
It was strong. It was strong.
Dino Supercharge, I think it was still pretty good. Overall, a pretty good season. Like, if we're comparing this to past seasons, this is always going to be recognized as one of the better seasons. It's unfortunate though, because it's also going to be recognized as one of the weaker finales.
Here's the thing. Resolution has a lot to do with just stories for me, period. Not just Power Rangers, but just things I journey through. If the finale doesn't give you at least some satisfaction, it could almost not ruin the season, but it could definitely take away from the season.
Okay, let me ask you this then.
You could ask
So
me.
if you're watching a weaker season and it has a strong finale, does that change it for you too?
It does help. It does help.
Because I will go as far to say that Overdrive didn't have a terrible finale.
And I will go as far as to say this, I don't disagree with you.
Did it make it for you, though? It still didn't get you over the edge?
It didn't get me over the cast was already, I have certain issues with the season already for the season not to save it. Put it that way. Does it help? Absolutely. Just like in the reverse context, the finale can ruin or at least go against the season. I will say this. I thought Super Mega Force's finale was better. I'll be honest with you. I did.
The Legendary Battle?
The Legendary Battle. But the reason
a lot
why
of people
I can
hate
say
on the
that,
Legendary Battle, and the truth is, being real with you, I think Legendary Battle is probably one of the best finales. And taking it out of context, if anybody would have not have known that any of these Rangers were coming back,
sure,
and that was the episode we ended up getting, and
sure,
without any knowledge, people would have been blown away.
People would have been juiced. Now I will say this, but the main reason why. First of all, it was really cool to see the Legendary Rangers come back helmetless and being able to get the veterans back. That was kind of cool. And then you realize, hey, so Troy is psychic for what? You guys never even talked about the Dream thing. Not to get into the Super Mega Force, because we'll talk about it some other time. But the main reason why I like the Super Legendary Battle was because Gokaiger. They took what they took from Gokaiger, and that part was cool. But in terms of finality, it felt final. It felt like, okay, we progressed to this point. I can still pick it apart in terms of, that kind of didn't make sense, but this made sense.
Well, I mean, I think it's because this episode was really rushed. Like,
they included a lot.
Well, because you can tell that there had to have been some pushback somewhere where the trajectory of this season was definitely going one way, setting up Talon Ranger, doing all these different things. And then there had to have been a point where they were like, okay, you're running out of money this season, and we can't do all this stuff.
I'll be honest with you. Chip is such a methodical kind of guy. And shout out to Chip. Chip always does a great job, and he does care about the property. I don't feel like they knew I don't know if they necessarily knew how to end it.
Oh, I think he knew.
You think so?
Yeah.
So from the beginning, you knew he wanted to bring dinosaurs back to life?
I have a feeling there was a lot of mandates on this, and I'll tell you why.
Please,
I think because going in, you got to think of the timing of everything. So we're at 2016, right?
Sure.
We're at the end of 2016. We're at 2016. 2017 is the movie. 2017's movie is going to be based on the originals, which is, again, dinosaurs. So how do you play that into this? You make dinosaurs a thing again, and you make sure that carries over. Now, I think the reason why that was all done was straight up, like, hey, we need to sell more toys of these dinosaur things, of these dinosaur tropes.
That's fine, but that has nothing to do with like the actual way the finale ended.
I think it has a little bit to do with it.
I'm listening.
And there's going to be speculation. I know a lot of Ranger fans. DJ, you actually brought this up to me a few weeks ago, actually, saying that this almost seems like it's standalone Power Rangers season.
I feel like it can. Now, obviously, there's a lot of multiverse theories. Connecting it back to the episode real quick. For instance, the Rangers destroy Sledge's ship in the past in the most horrific way possible, by the way. They slingshot him into the freaking sun and destroyed all of them. It's amazing. You're like, man, I've never seen the Rangers do anything more gangster in my life. With that said, wasn't Snide/Heckle on that ship?
It was real balls what they did there.
Like at that point in time, it should have erased a lot of history. It definitely should have erased Heckle and Snide.
Well, here's the real question.
I'm just saying.
Does it erase? Because there's a lot of theories here. If we're taking this into a time travel story, that really erases them from. There had to be a fixed point where they don't become Power Rangers, essentially.
The point where they become Power Rangers would have, timeline-wise, started at that point and only at that point.
They would have been Power Rangers for a day.
Exactly. So their misadventures, still remembered by them, doesn't count for the new timeline.
Sure.
But with that said, it's suggesting that there might be a multiverse theory where, okay, they never got to spin off, but, Heckle's still alive. That's the point. Heckle is still alive, even though he was still captive. Like, remind me, refresh me if I'm wrong. Heckle was still captive on Sledge's ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that reset time, though.
That eliminated anything from moving forward.
No. If you think about it.
Please.
If you think about it at this point, since they reset the time, and he's the keeper of the Dark Energem, that Heckle is kind of time displaced, almost like Bishop from the X-Men. Like, he probably wasn't on that ship at that point. I don't know.
But I thought he was. I thought he was on that ship.
Time's a very wonky thing.
And obviously, our primitive Earth was still very young at that point.
Yeah.
But when did Sentai 6's stuff happen? Did it happen before?
Yeah, we have to assume it happened before.
We just don't. Okay, I don't.
We don't.
Remember.
We don't know.
Exactly. Okay, so I don't remember this. I'm sure somebody in the comments can let me know. But point is they changed everything. We have dinosaurs in the
Common
present.
5 was a thing.
Kamen 5 was a reference. Shout out to, and for those who don't know, Kamen Rider is a big tokusatsu property in Japan, which is more of a mature version of Power Rangers, but with one person who is a Kamen Rider. Okay. The cast, I love you guys. This season, you guys brought me a lot of joy. The ending, I accepted it. Power Rangers.
I was okay with it. Honestly, it didn't have that. It didn't have the
Oomph.
Yeah, it didn't have that kind of like you had said it actually best. It didn't have a finality to it where it was like this is a great ending to go out on. You know what I mean?
In fact, one thing I really did like about Super Mega Force is the fact that, like, for instance, like when Orion left the planet, he had the opportunity to kind of go to each one of them, like, I'm gonna miss you, I'm gonna miss you, I'm gonna miss
But
you.
they had like 11 people.
You taught me, but okay, but the way these Rangers departed is more like, hey, we can fix it this way. Sweet, deuces. Okay, hey, by the way, you could do it this way. Oh shoot, I'm out of here. And Rangers, you will go back to your time. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was super quick. It was super just kind of like wrapped up in a nice little bow.
Here's the thing. Ideally, this needed to be a 3-parter. They needed to draw this out. And the reason why is that the Zord stuff is fine. But then there needed to be a bigger battle
I like the
to
Zord
really,
fight,
to really establish like a bigger battle. And then the last episode should have been like the tying up of loose ends.
Should have been Talon Ranger versus...
Like the final battle, like the goodbyes, like the stories, the individual stories of like, okay, now this is... I do like the fact that Chase is like, you know what, he pretty much like, I'm done with Amber Beach, I'm going back to New Zealand.
Yeah, by the way, that didn't make sense to me either. He's just like, hey, I could take Kaylee back to New Zealand. I'm like, why couldn't you do that before? It's not like he changed history where you couldn't be a good boyfriend and take her on vacations
There
before.
was that. There was a lot of things that kind of like...
What? It made you go, what?
Well, it made me want to see like more of the journey of like where these guys are because now the big glaring thing that we're not talking about, which you hated, I'm sure, is that the dinosaurs. It's not the Amber Beach Dinosaur Museum anymore.
It's the Amber Beach Zoo. Dinosaur Zoo.
Yeah.
We should not exist. Human beings should not exist with dinosaurs.
Hey, it did happens in Jurassic Park, right?
That's not accurate. Stop.
It does happen in Jurassic World too. Chris Pratt, #1 movie in the world at the time.
Yeah, that part's accurate. And in terms of dinosaurs surviving, first of all, Keeper was responsible for the extinction of the...
That's true. Keeper was responsible for the extinction of the dinosaurs.
He was history.
Yeah. Keeper and Sledge, yeah.
So as soon as the dinosaurs made it, okay, maybe the actual asteroids still... No, the dinosaurs are still here. No, so history is changed. Keeper that was responsible is no longer responsible. So we should not be here. There is no way we should be Flintstoning it with the dang dinosaurs.
Well, this is what you've said that like kind of, and this is why I think it's a possibility. Like,
what's a possibility?
You had said that like this possibly
dinosaurs?
takes place in a pocket like universe, like its own like Power Ranger universe.
It suggests it, I feel like.
I feel like what it does is it opens up the Power Ranger multiverse.
Yes.
And
yes,
but,
sure.
But by doing that, I think in a way it could be very smart of Spawn to do that because it establishes that Dino Charge opens up the pocket universe, and now obviously we're getting Ninja Steel and a movie, and those are all gonna either take. Now Ninja Steel can take place in the same universe.
I
as Dino
don't
Charge.
feel like the movie has anything to do with the TV show.
But I think you got to think though, I think it would make sense for people to be like, oh yeah, all right, see, they opened it up like that.
In terms of establishing
it.
Got it. Okay, that's fine. I mean, with or without that, that's fine. To be honest with you,
Now I agree with you. I'm not a fan of like dinosaurs being back roaming the earth.
that's a pretty big reset. I mean, it's ambitious. Let me say this. It's an ambitious
Until
undertaking.
you see a dinosaur in next season's Ninja Steel.
I'll be honest with you. That would make me feel better. As weird as that sentence is, that would actually make me feel better. This was very ambitious. Bringing back dinosaurs back to life, changing history, is a very ambitious undertaking. With that said, I feel like there was too much in this episode and not enough satisfaction and resolution to this episode.
So DJ, do you have any final thoughts on this episode?
I'm sad to see the cast go. Dino Charge was fun. Dino Charge and Dino Supercharge was a lot of fun. I do wish the finales, I guess, or finale episodes were a bit stronger.
Yeah, because even Dino Charge's finale wasn't super strong.
I actually liked Dino Chargers a lot more than this one because it was Tyler versus Sledge on the sinking ship, and he went boss. He did. He did go boss against Sledge. Well, I mean, he took it upon himself to really take care of business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he was willing to sacrifice himself.
You know what episode should have been the finale though? I think is like one of the Kindle episodes where she got the Purple Ranger powers.
Why?
Because I feel like, honestly, I think that Kendall is one of the. Honestly, this whole season could have been geared towards being a Kindle season almost, because I feel like she was downplayed obviously, but she had such an important role, and I think it would have been really cool for her to get just a little bit more character development. Now we got some, but the thing is, I wanted a backstory. I wanted to see because the truth is, the way that I would have portrayed her is I would have had her be the protector of the team, but why are the reasons that's happening? And almost see this evolution of her from being the behind the scenes person to being the forefront ranger.
Sure.
And then to being like, all right, I look at them not as my team more so, but as people that I need.
As family.
Originally it should have been, I look at them as people that I need to justify or to get to an end.
Sure.
To an end, and then grows into being a family. I think that story arc with Kendall was kind of like missing a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they tried to do that, especially with the whole like, hey,
Shove
call me
it.
Kendall,
Yeah.
and it's more like it didn't hit.
No.
That didn't hit. But with that said, I'm gonna miss this cast.
This is one of the best casts we've had overall.
I am glad that Koda/Yoshi got his shine, and I know we made fun as far as like, hey, call it Power Rangers Koda Force or whatever, because there was a lot of shine on Koda, but the fact is he is one of us, and he does show a lot of love to the property. And to be honest with you, he has the potential to be like beyond JDF as far as I'm concerned, man.
Yeah, and it's funny because he was a big focus on Power Rangers. I was gonna say Megaforce, Power Rangers Dino Charge. He's a big focus here on that hashtag show, and this episode's gonna be no different. So we have a special guest, and let's get to it. All right, so our special guest, Yoshi Sudarso. You know him best as Koda, the blue Dino Charge Ranger. How are you? You've been on the show so many times.
You guys are like BFFs at this point, I think.
BFS.
That's right.
BSS? What did I say?
I don't
I don't know what I
I'm
said.
not even sure what that
Yes.
is.
Yes.
Best sisters
Forever.
since now.
Since now. Best sisters since now.
BSS now.
BSSSN.
And BSSN.
I do want to ask you real quick, because obviously this is one of the first times I've actually talked to you. Well, that's not true. This is the first time on camera that I've talked to you after your brother's gotten casted.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So do you wanna talk to us about what Peter's been up to lately?
Yeah. So he's been sending me like, I don't know if he's gonna get in trouble, but he sent me like photos and whatnot of like stuff that he looks like on set and whatnot, and it looks really cool.
Does it?
I'm really excited. Like his characters.
Preston?
Preston is
That's
very
awesome.
cool.
That's
I think they're keeping that name. Pretty sure they're keeping the name. I
Yeah,
think
because did one of your characters, one of their names, Tyler? It
we
wasn't
had
Tyler,
two.
right?
We had two. Green was supposed to be Quinn.
Quinn.
We were supposed to be Quinn and became Riley.
Red was like Lucas.
Red was Lucas.
Well, it was on the
Lucas.
figure. I remember that
It was
much.
on the figure, and so was Quinn.
Sure.
But it's because Bandai like does their things first, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. I think
the
and I remember,
workings.
like, yeah.
Now, is your brother as much of a fan of Sentai? Because that dude, Yoshi, is like legitimately our fandom ranger. For those who don't know, this dude does cosplay. He is about this life. He knows his property. So, dude, Yoshi's the man. Is your brother just as much?
We are very similar in a lot of the stuff. We do a lot of the same things together. We cosplay together.
Sure.
We have like the Robin Army cosplays together.
That's
You
awesome.
know, we did Legend of Korra together. But like
I haven't seen that.
everything that you haven't done that. You haven't seen
We
that?
talked about that. Yeah, no, I got to get to it. But I did just watch Zootopia, and I loved it.
Yes.
Zootopia is awesome.
Moana's really good too. But
I'm gonna have to watch that. You got a lucky early screening, you little punk.
Got to talk to The Rock and everything.
I
just,
know.
Just like it's just any Tuesday.
Hey, I gotta thank Yoshi for all this. You know why? Because if it wasn't for the Power Rangers, it would have never opened all these doors. Yeah, because
Well, good. You made it open. Like you opened it up yourself. So.
kicked the door down. No, it's thanks to
True
you
story.
guys. It's really thanks to you guys, because I mean, this is why I love doing Power Ranger stuff, because everyone's so cool, and it's a different vibe too, man. I'm not, because pretty soon I'm doing another film, and like they were like, oh, you're interviewing Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence,
Jeez.
and I'm like,
Jeez.
well, here's the thing. I don't want to say anything bad right now, so I don't want to say. Never mind. Just
moving on.
it's something that I'm not looking forward to. Let's just say it like that.
But I think what Joe's trying to say is like if it wasn't for cool actors like you, man, who know the property, who are interactive with the fandom, who is a fan yourself.
Senpai.
I mean,
Senpai.
yeah, no, you are definitely Senpai Yoshi. So everybody get it straight, Senpai in the house.
But what were we talking about?
No.
So we were talking about his brother.
Yes. So we do everything together. We do everything the same. Like we watch the same shows. We're both anime fans, etc., etc. But
Your mom must be thinking in her
Oh,
head.
I mean, she wasn't very happy that we went into this route.
I figured.
You know what I mean?
Even now?
I mean, now they're a little better with it. They're like still like, but especially for me, like I do stunts.
Sure.
She's always like,
He says like so casually. First of all, see his stunts. Like he's sick. Like, let's
it's
be
pretty
honest.
crazy.
He's doing his stunt guy a favor by like, yeah, you could take it. I could do it. I could personally do it, but you got this.
but I would never.
Was there any like I may have asked you this before. Was there any because you and Brennan get along great, and you guys are very athletic, and you guys do all your different. Because he came from a circus background. Did you guys have a friendly competition of who can do better handstands?
Oh, he wins that like
Hands down.
Oh, wow.
No, hands down, literally.
I get it.
No, he's because the thing is we are athletic in different ways.
Sure.
He's very static. He can hold things. He's very like
Yes, he has
powerful.
control. He has
Right.
control.
Yeah.
Sure.
Whereas mine is explosive.
Sure.
I can do flips. I'm flexible and I can. Well, he's flexible too, but I mean like I use like to do certain moves. So he teaches me. He taught me handstands. My handstands were like really bad before we got into Rangers. And then since he did it every day and I lived with him, I was like, oh, job, might as well. And then he's like, oh yeah, fix this, whatever, So I learned how to do that. I can actually hold a handstand for like at least 10 seconds now.
Sure. So yours is more like aerials versus
Yeah,
his is more like
yeah.
control
Mine's
holds.
explosive muscle. His
Sure.
is like
Which makes
tightening
sense.
muscles. And
Wait, did James also stay with you guys since he was from New Zealand?
yeah, he did.
Oh, he did?
He
That's
did. But
awesome.
the thing is, he was in the UK before being cast, and then he came
Interesting.
back, and he was like, "Oh shoot, I got cast." So then he was like, "Oh, well, I'll just move with you guys."
Sure.
And then he would come with us and flip around once in a while. Michael actually does gymnastics. When we were training the first
Really?
month, yeah, calling you out, bro. When we were training the first month, we were just doing like cartwheels and round-offs and whatnot, and then he busted out a round-off tuck, and I was like, "Where'd that come from?" I mean, like I was kind of like, yeah, but he was good. Like he landed and it was high. So, but he's like, yeah, I used to take gymnastics back in the day, but then he went to
Sure.
football, and the muscles for football is different than
Absolutely,
sure.
like
it's just
Wow, that's crazy. And
we're
Claire can
all
sing.
very yes. Oh, can she sing?
I know. I made her
Have you
sing.
have you heard her
Yeah.
rap?
No.
Yo,
I've heard a snippet. of it.
her freestyle
Yeah, I've
is
heard a
sick.
snippet.
Really?
Was it
Yeah.
Clarodactyl?
Yeah.
Yes, it's pretty. It's
I'm
pretty
gonna
good.
get her to.
Yo,
to do
you
that.
need to. I was trying to get her for this, but
I know.
yeah, she's always so busy. But
And because I told you last minute, hey, you. It was only like a few days ago.
I was like, oh yeah, I'll be there.
The bromance is strong, by the way.
the bromance. Oh no, we're sisters. Remember?
Sisters.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Best
The
sisters.
sister mance.
Breast sisters. Did
The
you say
s-
breast sisters?
The sister
There's a whole new show, whole new YouTube channel.
So one thing me and Joe talk about all the time is like you guys are probably one of the most athletic casts in a long time, and that's one thing that we've missed in
Got a
Power
pretty
Rangers.
athletic
Period.
cast, yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. I mean, obviously, like Brendan Mejia was on Ninja Warrior. You do your thing all the time.
All right, so funny story about that. I actually was one of the associate producers on Ninja Warrior, and I think I told you this.
Yes, you did.
Is I was like, hey, I just saw Brennan at the audition for Ninja Warrior.
Where you
He made
at?
it through.
There you go.
He made it through though. He's super athletic. Like I didn't realize. Obviously, he was in a circus. When
He's
somebody
the
says
most ripped person I have ever met.
that. He doesn't lift weights though, right?
No, I think he does now, kind of, just to like isolate certain things. But he's just genetically gifted, perfect, and he
he's
trains so hard. It's ridiculous.
Hard work pays off,
Yeah,
kids.
yeah, yeah. He just like he's the most ripped person. Like it's like if somebody drew like an anime body, it would be his body right
Got
there.
it.
You know, Greek god body right there.
And what
Mine's all
about
uneven and crap.
what about Camille? She's pretty athletic.
What was that? Wait. What was that?
she trips on
no.
every single day on set. Oh no, not just on set, just every single day. You know this, Camille. She trips.
So coordination, kind of not her strong suit.
So I don't know what it is. She's
She
either
just
not paying
trips.
attention or something. But in like our BTS, you'll see her trip so many times. We have like a
Yeah.
gag reel thing. There's an extended version, I think. I just need to go find it. I know. I wish I could find it. But there was this one scene in the beginning where they're getting their energems and then they like lift this car and it flies
Yes.
ridiculously high. Remember
I like
that?
how you're like when they get their energems, like you weren't there.
I wasn't there.
But he wasn't
Oh,
for
you
that.
weren't?
He wasn't for that scene.
No, it was just the three of them.
Oh, gotcha.
It was green, pink,
And red.
and
And red.
red. Yes,
Oh, okay.
green, pink, and red. And they were like running to the car to go save them. It was like red, green, boom! And she just hits the door so hard. Apparently, she was bruised the next
Oh,
day.
jeez.
You know, like one of the funniest things that I don't know why I laugh, but when people fall, it's the funniest.
Okay,
thing.
okay. I probably get to talk to him a little bit more, but this dude has the weirdest sense of humor I've
I'm a
ever
strange
met.
cat.
Like he's the type of dude who be like, somebody gets pelted in the head, like straight blasted in the head. He'll be like, holy stuff.
It's like
after
you see
5
somebody
minutes.
get hit in the head with like a dodgeball.
It's pretty funny.
It's funny.
Yeah, but he spends like 5 minutes like clowning, and then be like, "Hey, are you okay?" Like
this
don't
is
talk
so
to
messed up. So I was walking.
I'm guessing this happened to you.
No,
No,
I was
I'm witnessing
I-
this dude. Like, I don't know if I can call you my friend.
I was
because I'm
walking.
embarrassed.
It was raining, and I was walking with my girlfriend, and we saw. And I shouldn't laugh at this. I really shouldn't laugh at this.
Oh, this is gonna be bad.
There was a mom walking with her kid.
Oh, see, that's why it doesn't matter. We're
And
done.
the
It
mom
doesn't-
fell, but almost landed on the kid. But I wanted to help out, but I couldn't because I couldn't stop laughing.
He's crying. He's actually crying.
It was so funny to me.
And you guys thought I was being hard. No, come on.
man.
So is it now your ex-girlfriend?
No, she was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe like you didn't help," and I was like, "Dude,
I
what-
tried."
What was worse, me laughing in their face or me just walking away? Like I don't know. When people fall, it's the funniest thing to me. I don't know why.
I might chuckle, but he will take a moment.
I think it's because I'm traumatized. So when I was in college, I went to not college. It was in high school. We had senior
Sure.
our senior trip was in Cancun.
Senior day.
Well, our senior trip was in Cancun, and I was just getting. I had to get on the bus to leave, and like it was leaving without me. So I tried to run to catch up to it, and I hit a curb, and I just flew, and I landed on my head, and then the bus caught up to me. I don't know what happened over there. Then the bus caught up to me, and it stopped, and then they opened the door, and they were like, "Hey, do you want to come on?" And I was like, "Nah, take
I'm
the
good.
next one."
I'm good.
I can't get up right now.
Yeah, I was like, "Yeah, bro."
And from that day on, Joe thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, so I can laugh at myself too because it was pretty funny. I mean, there's times where I've fallen hard. Like another time was at a bowling alley because I thought the thing wasn't slick because then the ball was going really slow. So I tried to go out there and get it, and I just flipped on my head. Yeah, and then everybody is like laughing at me, and then I was like, all right, guys, I'm gonna go home. True story. So I mean, I can laugh at it because it's happened to me.
Now I will say this about Joe: he can dish what he gives, but at the same time, he will laugh hard.
Oh yeah, I do.
So.
'65 Mustang too. That just sits.
What?
Yeah, true story. That's my second car ever, and I just have it still because it was my dream car.
Actually, you told me that shit.
But it's primer. Like I want to work on it eventually. It's like my dream thing. But like it worked for a while. But then I got a new car, so I was like, man.
All right. So what were you saying?
It doesn't matter. What the hell? Oh, we're on? Fine.
Yep.
All right. Okay, my man Yoshi. Let me ask you something, because we mentioned that Saban sometimes makes last-minute changes. For instance, Tyler was originally Lucas, and et cetera, et cetera.
Yep.
Now, Joe brought this up, and sometimes as fans, we're living in a digital age where we have the Sentai references, we have expectations, we have hackers out there who like to get the goods. Mm-hmm. What was up with Death Ruger / Talon Ranger for Dino Charge, Dino Supercharge, or any other charge with Dino in it, man? We were looking forward to that suit. Do you have any insight you can give to us?
All right. So
Please.
when that came out, the toy hacking thing, I saw the video. I was like, interesting. So I went to Chip. I was like, were you gonna have Death Ruger on this? He was like, no, we weren't really planning on it. Why?
Jeez.
And I was like, well, there's this thing coming out, and he was like, oh, Talon Ranger was actually supposed to be Zenowing.
Oh, really?
They were calling him. They named him Talon at first.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, because Torin Talon.
So it wasn't going to be
So
silver.
Talon wasn't going to be. He was going to be silver, but they were calling him Talon
But they were
Ranger
calling him
because he was
Talon.
the bird.
Kind of like Quantum.
Wait.
then-
Let me get this right. So Talon Ranger was going to always. He wasn't going to be called Silver Ranger. It was going to be the Talon Ranger.
I don't know if he was going to be called that, but that actual sound bit was because of Zenowing, not because of Death Ruger.
Okay. So there was never going to be a Death
There was
Ranger.
never going to be a Death Ruger. That I'm pretty sure. I don't know for 100%, but I'm pretty sure it's because they don't have the rights to the movies.
Is that what it is? Okay.
And that's
'cause-
probably why they didn't do the
The
three
crossover, sure.
crossovers for all the.
Which is one of my favorite crossovers from Sentai, by the way. I mean, obviously, from like Abba Danger to Zio Danger to Kyoryuger, that's like one of my favorite crossovers from Sentai.
It was pretty good crossover. It's kind of weird with the whole leather jackets thing, but I was like, I mean, because the thing is, if they didn't have an Ian, it wouldn't have been as weird. But since the Ian already
love
looks
Ian.
like
Sure.
that,
But
then
that-
it just becomes like, oh, everybody became Ian. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what it was for me? It was almost like Final Fantasy Advent Children for like
Yeah, okay, I see that.
for
I
like
see
Kyo
that.
Ryuger. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
Goldbusters was just kind of there. Good job being there.
Yeah, that was that. I don't know what that was all
Like,
about. I was
well-
like, they just had to have. I mean, because I know it was their crossover episode, but I was like,
Yeah, no, it
they
wasn't.
did
It really wasn't.
nothing there.
They
There
were
was no
flirting.
point. I forgot they were there.
I have a question for you, actually, based on the finale. How much you actually remember of it? I'm not gonna
Yeah,
quiz you
I
or
don't
anything,
know.
but like, if you could have done anything differently with your character, what would it have been,
On the finale episode?
or just in general?
Okay, well, for the finale episode, Chip was very kind, and I don't know. You guys saw it? Yes?
Mm-hmm.
So I got to lead the morph
Yes,
Yes,
there?
yes.
with the Energem. And that wasn't like a thing. I mean, I know one of us had used it because they didn't have a charger yet.
Sure.
But to lead it with all of us pulling it out of our chest, like, oh, I was like,
That was dope.
when I read the script, I was like, oh, yeah, that's cool, everybody.
Yeah.
Yo, is this for real? And then he's like, yeah. And I talked to him afterwards, and he was like,
Well, actually,
I
Joe.
was like, that's really, I was like,
Thanks,
the finale episode, I get to lead the morph.
Thanks, man.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
that's cool.
You're kind of dope.
It was really cool.
No, that's
So
actually,
you wouldn't have changed anything.
That part, not really. I mean, okay, one thing I would change is that I don't know if you guys noticed this, but you guys, not to break it to anyone, but once the helmet goes on, it ain't me.
Oh.
So I mean,
Wait.
I was when I did the finale, I think I had the most break in the whole 2 seasons because
Oh,
I was
really?
like, I literally was like, I did my thing in the cockpit, did our thing in the base, a little bit of fights, and the morph, and that was it.
That was it.
I just got to rest the rest of the time because I had my
But that
double,
wa-
I had my double doing that.
You and I were talking that wasn't actually the last episode you shot, though, right?
No, because we do how we do it is like it's called a block, and there's 3 episodes. So 3 episodes was like episode 20, and then we had our whatever it was other episodes.
It's like Edge of Extinction.
Yeah, so it's
End of
like
Extinction.
so they
Christmas
just
special?
clump all 3 of them together. Yeah, I think.
Well, there's a Christmas special that's set to air in December.
Then yeah, it was one of those.
How
Because
are you guys getting your powers back in that Christmas episode?
Are you allowed to say?
Just kidding.
I'm like trying to think. I was like, I don't actually remember.
That might have been before the end of Extinction. I'm not sure.
Well, I go away, so
Yeah, you do. Matter
Yeah,
of
but
fact,
you're in the Christmas episode, dude.
you would think, right?
Are you not in the Christmas episode?
Okay, all right. I see what this is. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. But I mean, I will say this. I mean, we did see the finale today.
Yeah.
A lot of tricks in the bag, man. I mean, very ambitious. Very ambitious.
yeah. How'd you guys like the timeline altering dinosaurs?
I was a fan. You know what I was a fan of? I was a fan of the Dragon Ball Z Spirit Bomb. Lend me your power. Everybody get together. So that was kind of. That
Believe
did
me,
happen.
DJ brought up a great point earlier on the episode. Do you think this rewrites Power Ranger history? Or are you even in the same timeline as the other?
See, I
That's-
don't think so.
That's the
I
bigger
don't think
question.
so.
That was my question.
I think this is
An alternate universe.
not is how like we had Saban era, we had Disney era, we had Neo Saban era,
Interesting.
now we have Chip era.
Oh, I see. So you had started from almost after Super Mega Force, which actually did include everything, including
Yes.
powers we haven't
So
seen.
you're on, yeah, right.
I mean,
So-
we've had no crossovers so far.
No, you haven't.
And I think Chip did that consciously. It was his baby. He wanted it to be.
I see.
I did talk to him a couple years ago. Oh, you were there when we talked to him at Comic-Con, and he did say that. He said that, because I asked him about a crossover with the previous season, Megaforce, and he said, no, there's not going to be a crossover, mainly because he kind of wants this to like live on its own.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was going to ask him again at MorphCon. I was going to ask him, hey, is there going to be a Ninja Steel crossover? Because it makes sense. Your brother's on the show.
Yeah.
And I didn't get a chance. But
So
is there a crossover?
Yeah, I hope so.
Sure.
I personally really, really, really want it because it would be the first time my brother and I would work on a legitimate show together.
How proud would your
Sharing
mom
a
be with that? That'd be so
seriously,
sick.
dude.
She's gonna be like, "You were safe, right?"
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
mom, to my mom, such a mom.
I tell you at MorphCon because I ran into your wife during.
Sarah, yeah.
I ran into Sarah during the right before like everything was gonna happen.
Okay.
And then I was like, oh, it's good to see you. We talked, and then she grabbed me again. She was like, hey, come here for a second. And I was like, yeah, what's up? She's like, hey, don't tell Yoshi we're here, because it was like your whole family was there, because they knew it was happening. And I was like, oh, thank God you told me that, because I think I was just going to text her, like, hey, I ran into, I was this close.
Because she had told me that she wasn't coming, and, you know, like, I guess I haven't really talked about.
No.
So, I was a big part, not a big part, I wouldn't say a big part. I was helping with the casting of, you know how like they always come in and read lines and whatnot, but I came in and helped out with the physicality part. So I'll have the new people come in to audition, like when it got later in the game, you know.
Is this a new tradition, by the way, as far as having like the past actors help?
I think it's just that we like
Well, it's a Neil
Iris
Saban thing, I
so
thought.
yeah, well, it's mostly because it's accessible. We're in LA. And the casting is in LA,
sure.
So it's easier. Like we're not gonna go to New Zealand to help out the New Zealand audition.
Sure.
But before, like Disney era, they were everywhere. You know, they were casting out of Canada, Florida, and all of those actors were from everywhere. So they couldn't really do that.
So that makes sense.
Yeah. So we're all based out of LA, and we like Iris a lot. She's the casting director. I've grown to know her quite personally because she gave me my chance. Like I found her email and messaged her and was like, hey, can I come audition for this? She was like, yeah, you've got a great look, come on out.
That's awesome.
And I was like, can my brother come? And she was like, of course, come.
Wow.
So that's how like we first both auditioned, and that was for Megaforce. So Peter he wasn't really like, he was like, okay, yeah, whatever. But when he got there, I went and auditioned, did my thing, did my flips and whatnot. And they're like, okay, thank you. And then Peter went in. Laughter ensues. He's in there for like 15 minutes. They love the crap out of him, and they're like, okay. And then after that, he came back for a callback and another callback and whatnot.
But
and
you
I
didn't.
Oh wow.
I did one audition. I was done. I was like, all right. And that was when I was like, all right, I'm gonna do stunts. Like, bro, you're good at what this is. You know, you've got the look. You've got whatever. I'm gonna leave you do that, and I'm gonna let you do that, and I'm gonna double you if you ever need it. You know. So we kept doing that, and he got really far. Not quite to getting the role, but very.
And this
far.
is
Like,
Megaforce.
This Megaforce.
Do you remember what he was going out for?
No, Noah?
No, we don't know. I think he was either blue or black. We didn't know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because they don't really put you in, and then they go into like after this long audition process, they go to testing where they have like 40 people. First day of testing, put you in, blah blah blah. You get sent home. The next day, it's like narrowed down even more.
Sure.
Then you do your thing, blah blah blah. I think he made it to the first one. He didn't make it to the second one.
I see.
But that's how he knows Ciara, all those people, Azim, Noah, Johnny. Exactly, and Cameron.
Cam's awesome.
And so they loved him
Cameron.
so much, but they couldn't have him for some reason. They were like, we're gonna bring him back for Silver. So
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
they were like gonna have auditions for it. Like, we'll let you know, but you're probably gonna be our Silver. And then they were like, you know what? Actually, we don't think you'd be right for Silver. And he was like, okay, that's fine. And the thing is, also like, it sucks that Silver was such a small part because he wasn't in the first season at all.
Yeah.
It was Robo Knight. So
But-
then it was, you know what I mean?
But a lot of people actually liked Silver the best.
Yeah.
A lot of people like his character.
But as an actor, you don't want to be, you know, like
Shortchanged.
you know. So he was like, yeah, I'll take the full. They were like, you know, come to audition next time around. You're probably gonna get the next one. So you know, Dino Charge comes along. So finally, Dino Charge auditions came out, and he obviously they were like, hey, we're just gonna call you up when it's, you know, like when we've whittled it down a little bit, but you know that we're gonna bring you in peace.
So wait. Oh yeah, Megaforce. That was you
Yeah.
guys were, yeah.
So Peter was like, all right, sweet. And so he goes in, finally Dino Charge auditions are happening, and he's like, yo, you gotta come out, man. I was like, no, I told you, I'm just gonna do stunts, bro. Like, I'm good with this. And he's like, just come out. I know you love Power Rangers, just come audition. I was like, I'll come audition.
Alright.
We'll go audition. And I made it to the second callback. I was like, that's sweet. And then nothing.
Sure.
And then he kept going, and I was like, all right, whatever.
Oh, is it the same thing again?
Yep. But I went to the second callback this time.
You got further. You got a step further.
There we go.
Every step, every year, you know? And then I went to go on a commercial. And the commercial took me to like Lake Powell, and there's like no reception. I was sleeping on the boat. So there's no reception for a whole week. I come back, and Peter was like, yo, they want you back for the test option. You know, like I signed your stuff, so because they needed it in by yesterday.
That's so cool.
So you need to come back. and then I was like, okay. So we both go to the test option. We do the test, and this is the first day. And this is the second day. So on the first day, they were like, here's your script, right? And I was like, Iris, why does he sound stupid? And she was like, oh, sorry, I didn't preface it. He's a caveman, 100,000 years ago, frozen, da 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 da.
Let me get this straight. He read the script and said,
Yeah.
my character, there's something wrong with my
What?
character.
I think you typoed every line
There's a lot of fragments
missing from here.
and a lot of self-reference to name.
Did your brother audition for the same role?
No,
Okay.
he auditioned for Green.
Okay.
He was Quinn.
So was it always
'Cause he
competitive?
looked nerdy.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So was it always competitive? Like, you guys were pretty much going for different parts, but so it was kind
But
of
it's competitive because
Sure.
there can only be one.
Oh, true.
There can only be one agent.
Isn't that a shame though? Like
Ain't that a
seriously,
shame?
I don't.
Shout out to
I don't like
Highlander.
that. I don't like
Yeah,
that.
shout out to Ninja Storm.
Yeah.
Yo,
Ninja
Yeah,
Steel.
seriously.
they got a good. I was like, what? Okay.
Sure.
They just picked who was right for the role. They weren't
Which-
like.
Which is
Yeah.
awesome, dude.
So what happened was
What
the first
happened
test
was-
option. You know, we did it, and then we went to the second day, and Peter didn't come back. And Peter was like, wait, what? But I came back. And the crazy thing is, when I got this script, I was playing it. I was like rehearsing with Peter, and I was like playing him kind of like, you know. And then Peter's like, yo, just like think of him as like a puppy. Like you're gonna like your throat's gonna hurt doing that forever. And think of him as a puppy and like a guard dog. And when you need to, you get, you know. But right now, like you're cute. You know. I was like, okay. So I played it like that, and they were like, they loved it.
Sure.
That was what they needed. That's what they wanted.
That's Coda.
Yeah, exactly. So that was, and then the second day we, you know, there was like, this is bad. Second day there was no Asian girl, and I was like, yes, because that means I have a much better chance. And it was actually literally between me and this other guy, Anthony Ma. He's a great actor, but he was going out for the other role as well. Not for, you know, Coda. But I think the way it just worked out is that, I don't want to say this in that way. I don't mean to be, the way Peter told me to play Coda was something that they needed to see and nobody else was giving that. And they were like, basically, that's why. And my hair was longer. To be honest, I think if Coda wasn't there, Peter would have been.
Really?
I see.
Yes, it wouldn't have been me.
That's interesting
I don't think it would've been me.
that acting choice is what did it, because honestly, it's so funny we do these Power Ranger after shows, and it's like the highlight of like the Coda adorable moments. It's like, dude, this is hilarious. Because it's so weird,
That's
because
so
I know
true.
you as a person, and I don't I don't see you and Coda, it's just weird to me, because when I'm even watching, it's like, oh, like that's Coda, and then you're Yoshi, and it's like two different completely things.
Yeah.
It's just weird to me, is all.
That's good. That's
It is
great.
good. It means you're acting.
Yeah,
That means you're
going
acting.
That's good.
Matter of fact, we
That
actually, in a number of our episodes, we actually bring up favorite like Coda moments. Dude, there's like so many lovable moments of that too.
So-
I mean, I would love to know how much of it was choice, how much of it was just like, oh, dude, that would be totally cool if we did that. Like, there's a moment where like, I forget what episode it was, where like Tyler throws an ice cream behind and you catch it and start eating it. And stuff like that. And it's like so
Well,
good.
like even the one with the beauty monster, and she's like, "Who wants to be my boyfriend?" And Coda's like,
He's like, and then, like your
much
voice
of
is
that-
like, no, stop, don't.
"How much of that is you, and how much of that is actually in the
It's
writing?"
pretty collaborative.
I love that though.
Like there was, you remember the Wish one?
Which one?
The Wish episode.
where they write down
our
the wishes?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Somebody was like, "Oh, superstition," and I go, "I am superstitionist," but then Brendan was like, "You should say I am super squishiness," and I was like, "Yo, that is so good."
Yes.
Done. So I did it, and then it was, you know, it became the
That's what
line.
it was.
And then I completely forgot about that. I was like, "Oh wait, that wasn't the line. That was Brendan like." Just
It's
messing
almost
around.
like when Selwyn says, "We're gonna toss your salad."
Hey,
in the-
we're here to
in the
toss your
episode.
salad.
And he was like, "That was like an outtake, but it's like what they use." And I was like, "Oh, I can't live that down now." But it's so funny to me.
But that's so cool that they gave you that liberty and that
Yeah, well, Chip
freedom.
is very like, yeah, he's
He was there all the time.
He was no, I mean
No?
he was around.
Sure.
But he was around so like whenever we needed questions and whatnot. But he was really good about like, I mean if we did something that was like too off, then he'll be like, okay, we'll reshoot that another
Got
day
it.
or whatever. But it was like they were pretty good about me doing stuff like that because my character didn't have very many lines, right? But I was like, well,
You
that
made the
doesn't
best
mean
of
I
it,
have
yeah.
to be like this.
Yeah.
So like stuff like the bucket thing, I don't know if you saw that. Not many people saw this one actually. This was such a small thing. So it was when Gold first comes in, and he's got like his night armor on, and he comes out like this, and everybody's like, "Wow!" I had a metal bucket, and I was like,
think I remember that. I totally think.
And I put it on, I was like, "Hey, am I the same?" You know, kind of thing.
Dude.
And Michael was like, "Oh," because he wasn't expecting me to do that. He just turned. He was like, "Why are you in a bucket?"
Actually, speaking of Coda moments, there's one specific moment where they were doing like NZ Boy auditions, and
that was hilarious.
And we have Camille and we have Brennan, doing the audition, and at the end of it, Coda's like, "I want to go too. I want to go around the world," or whatever. That killed me. But that's the thing, like. We joke around about this, but first of all, I don't know if you recall the Ice Age monster, but he got brought back a few times. So we started calling this season like, "Hey, Power Rangers Ice Age," because the dude always comes back. But realistically, it's Power Rangers Coda. Like that's the true story.
You have
to understand. There's a lot of like love to Coda, regardless of like the reasoning. Like Coda is the heart, and he is the heart of the team. He is genuinely like the lovable kind of guy that's trying to figure everything out. He rescued the guy the little boy from the cave. He baseballed his way out of a situation.
I love that episode.
That baseball? That's Chip's favorite episode.
It's
like because I guess he'd been wanting to do a baseball episode for a while because he played baseball.
I didn't know that.
Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
So I was like, thank you for giving me
Home Run Coda.
So wait, you
sense.
must have really bonded with Chip like during this whole experience.
Yeah, and the thing is like we bonded with Peter too because like he knows Peter pretty well. So this is what I didn't get to tell you before. Tell you before. Because so when I found out that I was like, oh yeah, I got this. Peter was like, oh, you can come back. They want you back or whatever. Peter apparently had been emailing Chip and was like, hey, you've got to see Yoshi again. Like you haven't seen what he's got to offer. So he fought for me.
Oh shoot.
So he really screwed himself out of a job, technically.
But it worked out.
Yes.
Yeah.
But 2 years later.
But it's so crazy because
he was just so giving.
Right.
You and I
That's
were
love,
talking about like Ninja Steel because I was like, yo, there's a chance you could come back as like the Red Ranger. Remember we were talking about that?
Yeah.
And then I started a whole campaign, Yoshi for Red. But I mean, no offense to you, but we did get something better because now Peter's on the show, which is really cool.
Yes.
Like, if there's ever been a deserving guy, especially all the sacrifice he made for doing this, I think it's awesome. It's so cool. Yeah. I honestly, my one complaint so far is that I do wish he was the Red Ranger.
I do wish that as well.
But if you had a choice, I mean, now we have, and because I do a lot of the Facebook like fan pages and stuff like that, and honestly, dude, there's a lot of love. Matter of fact, I even said earlier, like, dude, you're kind of the new JDF as far as I'm concerned, and I know those are like big shoes, but realistically, you are pretty much that
I mean,
guy.
he wears a size 9, so it's not that.
That's what I'm talking about.
I don't know what his size is.
If you knew that, it'd be the creepiest thing.
I thought she was Thai or something. She's like really.
I did mainly because when I interviewed her, she's what?
She just works in Thailand.
Oh, she does?
Yeah, she does a lot of
modeling and stuff.
Oh, she's super cool. I love that girl.
Yeah, I might be crushing a little bit. Just a little bit.
A little bit?
Just a little bit.
All right,
Well,
so-
I talked to her for the first time at LA Comic Con. I'm just like, oh shit, you're kind of sweet.
She's adorable. Yeah.
Like, there's girls that are attractive, but I'm like, oh, you're actually kind of want to introduce you to mom. Call her auntie.
So yeah, speaking of which, you helped these Rangers' physicality.
Right. So I helped them with their physicality and like they would go in and audition and whatnot. So I'd help read lines with them too sometimes. But so I had seen all the auditioners and I was like, dude, Peter's got a really good chance. Like
That's
he's
awesome.
got this, he got this in the bag. And him and Chance were my 2 top picks. Rip. Anyway, so like a week or 2 goes by, and this is 2 weeks before Power Morphicon. I'm on set with Peter. We're doing like this short film for something. I forget what it was, but it was late at night. It was like almost midnight at this point, and I get a text or an email from Chip, and he was like, "Yo, we gotta talk. When can I call you?" I was like, "Oh, you can call me now. We're just at lunch." So he calls me, and he's like, "Hey, so listen, your brother didn't get the job. How do I tell him?" I was like, whoa, slow down. And why would you put this on me? Like, don't put that on me. You can't. Wait, now I know, and I'm with Peter.
And you
right
guys
now.
are saying I'm the sadistic one. Like, look what Chiplin is doing.
You still are.
Seriously.
You still are.
He's a punk. He
Nah.
likes to mess with people. He likes to mess with us.
And that's you.
And that's why with the whole opening, it was like, oh, but it comes into fruition in a good way.
It's funny because at this time frame, we were talking about something else related to something else. But you and I were talking, and I remember you being like, "Yeah, I don't even really care about going to Morphicon this year." And I was like, "Oh, this is kind of weird." And I was going, "You're kind of happy that the thing's ending?" Was we had seen each other a couple times too, and you were like, I just could tell that you were so like adamant. You know what I mean? You were like, just like, I'm done.
I checked out.
Yeah, you checked out.
In those 2 weeks, I checked out of Power Rangers.
Yeah, interesting.
Mostly because I was so upset that they didn't cast him. And it was literally like, it was a bad time for me. I was like, I never thought I could be this upset. I was more upset when I found out he didn't get the role than when I didn't get the role the first time around. And because the thing is, I don't know anyone who deserves it more than he does. He's worked so hard for it, and 3 years on, and he's kept it going, and he's good, and he's gotten so close every time, and it's just like things that don't let him get it is stupid stuff.
Yeah, of course.
So literally, when I get the call, I'm like away from Peter, and I was like, dude, you can't do this to me. Like, don't. Why'd you tell me?
Just hearts.
I was like, we're both on set right now. You can't do this to him right now. Like, this is gonna kill him. So he was like, okay, you let me know when I can do this. I was like, oh, dude, and I got off. I was like, why? He was like, you know what? Like, it was a race issue. Okay, like I can't. I was like, okay. He's like, I'll talk to him. I was like, okay. And I got off the phone and I tried my best to be like, hey, bro, like.
Sure.
And he was like, but he saw a demeanor change, and he was like, you all right, man? You seem kind of, like, you want to play Pokemon or something? Because this is when Pokemon was still hot. And then he got it. He's like, oh, that's weird. Chip just texted me saying he wants to talk to me. And he looks up and he's like this. And he looks up at me and I'm like, I couldn't not look depressed. He's like, what? I didn't get it or something?
Oh,
Wait.
man.
Yo, don't mess with me, right? He's like, just like, don't mess with me right now. I was like, dude,
Okay,
I'm sorry.
But at this point, did he know?
No, had no idea.
Yeah,
this is the beginning.
Still.
Yeah, and so I just
Wait. So he's not in on this.
he's
Not at
in
this
on it.
point. Not at this point.
So I just gave him I was like, I'm sorry, and I gave him a hug, and we hugged for a while.
That's
and he was just like crushed. He was like, we got up, we stopped, and then he was like, okay, I'm gonna give him a call. So I was like, okay. He got on the phone and he's like, hey, are you with Yoshi? He's like, yeah. Oh, listen, you didn't get the job. I'm sorry, but if you want to know why you didn't get the job, please give me a call when you're not with Yoshi anymore and you're done with set. He was like, all right, Chip, I'll call you so you can tell me why I didn't get this job for the third time. Gets off, rightfully upset.
Sure. Man.
And then, so we go to set and we're on set, just kind of, we
Somber.
were, yeah. And like, everybody's kind of like, you guys good? I'm like, yeah, we're fine. Let's just go do this. And then, so, Peter's doing his thing, I do my thing, and just kind of half,
I'm
half
feeling
into
it right now. Like,
You know
I'm
what I
feeling it
mean?
right now. I'm like, oh, dude, you didn't even get it. I know he has it now, but
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
Because
God.
I don't think a lot of people know this story.
Yeah. So Peter goes and he gets off set, and it's like 4 or 5 a.m. and he was like, in his car, like listening to music, just kind of like, I guess. And I split. I went a different route, and he was like, give him a call.
4 or 5 a.m.
Yeah, but in New Zealand.
Oh,
it's different.
gotcha.
But they were like, he like texted him. He's like, okay, yeah, he's good for a call. So he goes and gives him a call. Gives him a call, and he's like, hey, so all right, Chip, what is it? Why didn't I get the job? And I guess Chip on the other end was like, gonna mess with him a little bit longer, but Becca and the others were like, just tell him, like, stop messing with him.
That's something I would totally do.
And so exactly, right? So Chip was like, all right, so the reason you didn't get the role is because you did get the role. And he was like, Chip,
What?
don't you mess with me. And he's like already cussing out the
Yes.
producer. He's like, don't mess with me right now, man.
That's all I'm saying.
He's like, don't do this. Like, I can't take this. Don't.
And this is a
Do
couple
not.
weeks before Morphicon.
This is 2 weeks. Exactly 2 weeks.
Jesus.
And he's like, no, I promise you I'm not messing with you. But I am messing with Yoshi.
Oh,
So do not tell him. You cannot tell anyone. We will go to him and Power Morphicon. And he was like, okay, you suck. I hate you. Good night. but
Rightfully so.
You weren't around for this conversation.
no, we were in a
not
different
around.
car. So Peter is like, all right, well, I got to keep this secret from Yosh. 2 weeks, is happening. In these 2 weeks, we have so many different events together. Because we do events together, Sudarso Bros stuff. And cosplay or whatever. So we went to 626 Night Market. And we were dressed in our Pokemon gear. and I was wearing blue because I wanted to match him. So we're both wearing blue because I was, Team Instinct and he was Team Mystic. I was like, it's fine. I'll wear the same color so we can chill. And then people were like, oh, you guys are Blue Brothers. And every time anything remotely Rangers, at the time blue wasn't like a thing because like we didn't know what it was.
True.
So I was like, anytime any Power Rangers thing remotely happened, I was like, dude, move away, think about something else, because I don't want to hurt Peter.
Right.
And I was hurt.
Oh, got it.
So when we were taking photos, some guy asked for a photo. I don't know who it was, but I was so pissed at this guy. I mean, I feel bad now, but he was like, can we take a photo together? I was like, oh, yeah, of course. We're taking a photo, I'm like, yeah. And then the guy was like, can we do like It's Morphin Time?
Oh, jeez.
And my face, I swear, I feel the kid was just like, what did I say? Because I was like, because I caught myself. I was like, that's fine. But I looked at Peter and his face was just like defeated, and I was like, oh God, and I was like crying inside. I was like,
It's Morphin Time.
in the photo, I'm pretty sure because he tagged me in the photo later. I was like this.
That's great.
I was just upset, and Peter's face like this, like defeated, and we were just
Poor guy's photo.
yeah, and we were just like.
Can I just take the time real quick? Like, if you know anything about Yoshi, this dude is like the best when it comes to like fans, the fandom, and the property, and just being a good guy that he is. Like, legit will stop in his tracks. Just like if he has to be somewhere, we'll still take like seconds out
That's
of his day.
hilarious, actually.
So for him to be that irked is a lot.
But on the plus side, this guy has a photo with a great story behind it.
He does
Sure.
now. I don't think he
At the
knows.
time- yeah, at the time.
Yeah, but
do you
at
have
the
that picture still? Do you still have the
It's
tag?
somewhere in there, sure. But
Oh my
I was just
God.
like, I'm sure I looked so pissed, and I felt so bad for this guy. And afterwards, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go get some water or something. And like, there was two people wanting to get photos. I was just like, I need to take a moment,
Oh,
and I tried to like not let it bother me because if I saw it, I didn't want to hurt Peter. But later on, Peter told me that he was looking like that because he knew that he had to lie
to play.
and hurt me, and in turn, he was hurting me, so he felt bad. So he was just like sad too. So we were both like,
Darso brothers, am I right?
But we were like constantly, like anytime, anything. There was a point like I was passing by a martial arts studio. I was like, oh, that's cool. Like their martial arts studio is Blue Dragon. And I looked over to Peter. I didn't think anything of it.
Oh, jeez.
And then like, because I wasn't thinking anything of like he was gonna be blue. But in his head, he was like, crap, he knows. But I was like, oh, cool, Blue Dragon, that's dope.
Oh,
and I just kept on, he wasn't thinking about it.
Hilarious fact. In Ninja Steel, Blue Ranger does have a blue dragon.
Exactly. That's what he was like thinking. It was like, he knows. But it was just like constant stuff like that. And he bought like a new blue dragon jacket. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I didn't think about it. He was giving me hints, but I didn't think about it like that. Because every time I saw a hint, I was like, nope, something else, And we played Dungeons and Dragons. He was our DM. And he put in this NPC character that was a ninja that was blue. And this was Friday night, right before.
So he's giving you all these Easter eggs.
Yes. And this is the night before Polymorphicon.
That's hilarious.
And the character, like the NPC, like he was like, oh, if they do certain things, this character will live. And my character will find out that that's his brother. But if we do the wrong thing, he dies. And we did the wrong thing and we killed him, but he left behind a note and my character finds out that it's his brother. And I was like, no, we killed, and like this is our last game and I killed my brother. Oh, it wasn't me, it was somebody else.
Now I want to play D&D because this sounds amazing.
Yo, Peter is such a good DM.
I've never
such a
played
great
this,
DM.
but I've always wanted to, mainly because I watched Community and it seemed really fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, with the right DM.
So we're going to hold right